Alright guys, welcome back to another episode. I'm going to make this intro really quick because we got to get going. I'm trying to make sure I get enough light. But as you can see, I've done a lot of work when it comes to sanding the car. I've gotten the car completely sanded all the way to 1000 grit. I started all the way at 80 or 120. This car was definitely painted in its past with like a cheap green. You know, it's been flaking all over the place. You guys have seen it in all the other videos how flaky it is. It was just coming up with even a little bit of water pressure when we first washed it. So I did take some of these extra pieces off. As you can see, the hood is off, the wiper cowl is off, the doors, the convertible top cover, the trunk lid, the valence between those are all off, and I had some of those panels painted. All those panels are painted with the color we're going for, and it is going to be awesome. It's a nice blue is what we're going with. Here's an example. It's kind of hard to tell in the light. So this has been sitting for a little over a week, curing, and so there is a little bit, I don't know if I'm able to get it in the light. There is a little bit of orange peel in that. My lighting isn't the best. So nothing, a little bit of wet sanding with some 2000 will knock that out, we'll buff it. But I want to get the whole car done. I was only able to do the top side, so the bottoms still have to be done. So all these have been curing for a week. So the paint is completely done curing. It is solid, sitting in the hot garage. We'll flip them over and we will get the undersides painted. When it comes to the cowl, I'm not as concerned as this, but I'm more concerned about the trunk lid, where the convertible top cover sits, the hood. You know, those things I really want to make sure are painted blue so when you open them up, it still matches. So anyway, enough talking. We're going to push the car out, get everything set up. So we can paint, do the undersides of the important pieces first, then we'll move on to the car. It did just rain, so the ground is wet, so which is perfect so that when we're out there with the gun, we're not going to blow up a bunch of dust onto the car. I'm not going to tape off this whole garage to paint it. It's just not practical, so I'm going to put down some cardboard around the low spots, so that way when I get down there to spray, it lands on the cardboard, not on the concrete. For those that are wanting to know already, what kind of paint are you using? I'm using a Rust-Oleum paint job. I know a lot of you are going to judge that, but it turned out great. I really like it, and it works for me. So let's get set up, and then we'll come back and take a look at how it goes. Alright, so just real quick before we start, I'm just using one of these cheap Harbor Freight guns, little pressure regulator, and a vapor separator, make sure no water gets in the paint. I used a 2-to-1 mix ratio of the Rust-Oleum to acetone. Some people use mineral spirits, but either way I think works. I've watched tons of videos on this, and 2-to-1 seems to be the magic number. I am no pro by any means. This is a cheapy gun. The only paint I've seen is a little bit you saw. So by all means, this is just to do what I want to do. I'm not looking for perfection. I'm just looking for something that'll look decent compared to what it used to look like. We're going to be doing this hood first. I'm going to get you all repositioned so you can watch me do it. Then I'm going to do the other pieces off camera. It's the same concept, just more pieces. Then once we go to move on to the actual car itself, I'll roll it out, make sure we have enough on the ground so we don't paint the concrete, and then we'll be able to paint the car, and I'll go through a time lapse on that to make it go a little faster for you guys. So let me adjust and we'll get started. Alright, so just a reminder, I'm only using 30 PSI. I'm going to test my fan here on a quick box piece, and then we're going to get started. Like I said, I'm no pro, so let's just watch, see how it goes. I'm going to speed through this so you can see how it goes. Alright, let's give it a shot. the first layer. I went on kind of light, but I feel like I was too far away. So I'm gonna let that sit for 7 minutes. And after that, we'll go again with coat 2, see how it looks, and we might need to do a third. So we're gonna let 7 minutes go and we'll come right back. Coat 2. So I think the 2 coats is going to be enough, especially because it's going to be inside the car. We're not going to be seeing it really. And I think in these little triangles, I'm going to put some sound deadening material, help cut down on the vibration, and some insulation, in case we ever put any batteries up there in the future. I know some people are going to ask, why didn't you prep the inside? You should have sanded it, this and that. People aren't going to see it. I just want it to match when they open it. That way it's all the same color, because you don't want it to be super obvious that you repainted it. And the other thing is, I know my mask isn't a proper respirator, and I know people are going to give me a hard time about that. This is what I've got right now. Home Depot and Lowe's are both sold out of respirators because of everything going on, which is understandable. So I'm doing best with what I've got. It's better than nothing. So I'm going to move this piece. I'm going to do all the other little pieces the exact same way. And then we are going to roll the car out and do the whole car, and we'll time lapse that and see how it goes and see the final product. Alright, so before I get to the car, there's one thing I did want to talk about is each of these pieces you've seen, I did use a tack cloth. I got these from Lowe's. It was a 2-pack. I think it was like $3, but they're super tacky and you can see just a little bit of dirt that they pick up. I do blow them off with the air gun, but I come up with this and you still get all of the loose particles that are in those super fine cracks, and it really helps get the finish that you want. Like I said, it's not going to be perfect, but it's a lot better if you just take the time and do a quick wipe down. Now I have the plastic cut for each wheel, so what's going to happen next is I'm going to cover the wheels, tack cloth it down, I'm going to get the paint in the gun, and then we're going to go for it. Alright, so I got the wheels wrapped. We're going to tack cloth it real quick, zoom through this, set up the gun. So just that quick walk around, you can see all the stuff that we got on that. So it's all coming off and not in our paint. So what I would recommend is probably doing that 2 more times, but just because we're in the crunch for time before we lose sunlight, we're going to set up the gun and go for it. When I do spray the wheel wells, I've already bed liner the inside of those, clean them, they're all jet black, so I can go behind it with about 1/3 of a can that I have left, and I'll be able to touch those up, but I still want to get them on the wheels. So let me set up the gun, we'll get back here and get going. Alright, so I got the gun set up. It's a 20-ounce cup, but I mixed up a big batch in the garage. That way the paint is consistent, so I'm not doing a bunch of small batches and make some slight variation, just in case it's not an exact mix. So I've had one big batch, I should go back and keep really filling as I go. I'm hoping to get 3 coats on the outside, because on the outside of the other pieces I have 3 coats also. So let's zip through this time lapse and let's see how it goes on. Alright, so the first coat is on. I forgot to do the wheel wells as I was going around, so that's why I had to come around on the backside. It is thin right now just to get that tacky layer. I'm letting it sit for, just like the other pieces, 5 to 7 minutes. Let it tack up, and then we'll go on with a little bit heavier coat, and we'll start covering some of those spots that are shining through. It is tough to get underneath these spill points here, all underneath there. It's pretty tough to get along with the wheel wells, but like I said, I can touch those up later with that leftover bed liner spray I have. But so far I love the color on here. It definitely pops, bring the car to life, especially being electric, as if it needs any more to stand out. So we're gonna let this sit for a few more minutes. I'm gonna get some more paint in the gun. But I can already tell I made too much, just because I didn't know. So better too much than not enough. That way we don't have mismatched colors. Anyway, we're gonna let this sit for a few more minutes, reload the gun, and we'll come back and speed through it again. All right, it's been another 5-7 minutes or so. We're gonna put the second coat on. We're gonna go a little heavier. That way it sets a little better, and hopefully we'll get it to kind of lay a little more flat. But we'll give it a shot, so let's see how it goes. Alright, so it's kind of getting dark, as you can see, which is really bad painting conditions. The only light I have is coming from the shop. So I've only got 3 minutes left until I can go around again, because by the time I get to the last place I shot, it'll have been that time already. 2 coats did a lot of justice. I refilled the reservoir one more time. I definitely made too much paint, but like I said, too much is better than not enough. So I'm going to be able to shoot it one more time all the way around. I'm thinking a little bit of a lighter coat just to help blend it, and then we're going to push it in the garage and we'll do a walk around in the light, because that's going to be our brightest spot. So I'm going to wait out these last couple minutes. I'm going to shoot it one more time and then we'll push it in and take a look. Alright, so it's definitely darker, but I got a shop light. I know it's going to kind of distort what's going on here, but it's the last coat. I'm just going to go over it, dust it, and then we're going to push it in and do a walk around. And the good thing about too much paint is if I did miss spots, I have extra that's going to blend and be the exact same. So let's do one more coat and we'll push it in and take a look. Alright, I know you can't really see me, but we got it done. We're going to shove it in here and we'll do a walk around. I already got the wheels uncovered. I'm going to clean up a little bit and let's take a look. Alright, so I'm holding y'all, so sorry if it's a little uneven and shaky, but let's do a walk around. I think it turned out okay. Not bad for the first car I've ever painted in my life. So let's take a look. We're going to start in the back. Alright. Take a shot around the side here. This is a side y'all didn't see because of where the camera was. take a look at the front. It is so bright. It's definitely a bold blue. We were able to get all the way down also. I can't really see, but so it's not green under there anymore. But on this side, this is the side y'all saw. Looks good, and then the doors. So you can tell it's a pretty even match, which is nice. So there are a couple spots here on the top, like this. Kind of see it like that. There's another spot right there. So what I'm hoping is that with a wet sand, that'll come out. You know, like little stuff like that from the fiberglass repair. On this side, see like this little stuff here. There's little specks of dirt and dust. You can kind of see it in the reflection there. When I move, you can see it's all speckly. It's kind of the downside of having to do it outside and not a vacuumed out booth. We got all the door jambs. So all right. So with that, we're going to take it as a close. I'm going to come out here in the morning and take a look. I don't see any spots that I missed right now, but there may be in the morning. I don't know. And if I did, then we're going to be painting again. So hopefully we don't have to do that. There is one piece I have to paint the top of, and the only reason I didn't do it tonight is because I forgot to sand a little hole that I had filled with a little bit of Bondo, and I didn't sand it smooth. So I've got to do that. Unfortunately, it's that piece right there. It's that piece. So we're going to sand that other side, but I need that wet side to cure for at least a couple days before I can flip it over and put some pressure on it, because I don't want it to chip or wrinkle or anything like that this paint may do. But you know, I'm happy with it. I think it looks good. It's a bright color. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I know it's not perfect, but like I said, I'm not trying to win any awards. It's just a lot better than that crappy green that was on it. So that's the point. Thinking about putting some stripes on it. Kind of a curveball down the middle, break up all this blue, because it is so powerful. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you should add stripes or not. Maybe 2 down the middle, 1 down the middle. Put a picture, describe it to me. We'll see what we can come up with. Anyway, with that, I will say thank you for tuning in for this quick video. Hopefully it's quick. I don't know, I haven't gone through all the footage yet, but hopefully it's quick, zooming through all the paint. So until next time, hit like, subscribe, comment, have questions. I'll do my best to help you out, and we'll see you all in the next one. See ya.